LTV's Action Sports is brought to you in part through the generous support of these Leominster sponsors. By MP Crowley Company Incorporated, www.mpcrowleyinc.com.
Looks like 13. Cyrus Lopez, Xavier Corey, Giovanni Damanzio, Antoine Lino, Diego.
Fresh off last week's barn burner win against Milford, Leominster High School Blue Devils open the season at home and take their 2-0 undefeated streak with them up against Doherty Memorial Highlanders. Hello, here from high above historic Doyle Field in Leominster, Mass. Alongside Liam Curtin and our LTV production crew, I'm Cody Roy. And Liam, what a game that was last week.
For sure, it was definitely one for the ages. Got to see a lot of action going on, especially the difference we saw in the first half to the second half. First half low scoring, second half just got at it, and it was just fun football to watch on a nice little Friday night.
It's a fun game to watch, and it's even more fun if you can come away with a win like that.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you can go for two right before the game ends and walk out the bus and head home happy and everything.
On the other side, Doherty coming off a big win of their own. Last week, they come in 1-0 after a win against Algonquin. You're seeing a new installation at Doyle Field this year. Some new lights, new flashing high-tech lights, and they look great.
Absolutely. I mean, this is beautiful to look at. I mean, if you've ever seen it at Fenway, it's the exact same sort of light system that we got there, and I mean, Leominster's treating us well, especially here at Doyle Field. Never would have imagined it, but there we go.
We pause for one moment for the national anthem from the Leominster High School Marching Band. Don't go anywhere. High school football coming up right after this. We welcome you back here, LTV Action Sports. Liam Curtin alongside Cody Roy for what should be a great matchup tonight. Leominster and Doherty, great matchup between these two last time they faced each other.
For sure. I mean, every time you see these teams match up, it's almost always a close game. Just going to be a matter of if Leominster can start off really hot. I mean, we've seen them be a better second half team over the past few years than in the first half, but I mean, hey, they're going to start off with the ball tonight. Just got to start off with a score if you're Leominster right now.
Big first drive right off the bat, and if you're a second half team like Leominster is, how much do you think it changes the game plan to get the ball in the first half versus the second?
Honestly, if I was a second half team, you'd almost prefer to get the ball started in the second half. But then again, if you feel a lot better in your defense, you're okay with, hey, we're just going to start off with defense because we're going to start off with our strength, and we're going to make sure that first possession of the game, we're going to try and go down and score, keep it close for the entire first half, and then the second half we'll see what happens.
And it'll be Ricker and Wilbon back for Leominster. The kick from Doherty to kick things off. Off the foot of Thomas Kersonis. It's a high driving kick fielded by Wilbon. He cuts left, cuts back to the middle, and he's swallowed up right on the 30.
And one of the big things with this kickoff team, or this kick return team now, the usual returners that we saw was Ricker and Juan Miranda. We saw before the game Juan Miranda, he has a mitt around his hand, so it looks like he's not going to be playing much offense or taking any of the kick returning duties for tonight, but we will see him on defense a lot.
And one man we will certainly see quite a lot of, junior quarterback Osiris Lopez in his second year of the starting role for the Blue Devils. Third year, excuse me. And it's a fake handoff. He rolls to his right. Lopez going to keep this one himself. Can't get anything out of it. And he's swallowed up for a loss.
And that was a huge one by Ryan Dennis. Coming off the edge. Jadis Delgado trying to set the edge there on the block. Just unfortunately, when you're trying to run those QB counters every once in a while, it's so important to have wide receivers that can block. If you don't have that, trying to bounce it out to the outside, which you see a lot of in high school, it just becomes inefficient, and that's why we saw that negative 3-yard gain there.
And we'll call that a loss of 3. Sets up a 2nd and 13 from the Blue Devils 28. Lopez with Cora to his left. Man in motion. Lopez rolls left. Quick pass is off the mark. Ricker, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and they're just trying to get Ricker going. I mean, makes total sense. Past 2 games, he's been electric every time they've thrown him the ball. You can almost always count on him for at least one time in the game where he's going to have a 30-plus yard catch, and he's done that the past 2 games at least twice. I'm sure we'll see it a couple times tonight, but just all a matter of just trying to get this dynamic offense going. It's really what it comes down to. It's an all-or-nothing type of offense. We're taking the shot or we're just not going to get it.
This one, Lopez drops back, has time. The pass is up. It's a deep pass. Receiver is on the ground. Now it's Jadis Delgado, the intended receiver.
Yeah, Delgado just unfortunately got tangled up with the DB. They're going to give benefit to the DB there because it was Michael O'Connell there. He was physical enough, so was Delgado. You see some hand fighting. Just unfortunately for Delgado, he tripped, so that's why the pass was so off there. And you see everybody trying to look for the PI, just not there at the end of the day.
4th and 13. Blue Devils will punt. Game starts with a 3 and out.
And Rivera's been really good normally.
Snap comes in very high, but he's able to field it. Just crosses midfield. Blue Devils will freeze it at the 34.
That's the benefit of punting with the wind sometimes. We're not getting a ton of it, but throughout tonight we're going to get a lot of right to left on the camera. That's the way that the wind's going, so anytime you're going to be punting, you're going to get another extra, usually 5-10 yards out of it. Makes it that much better for Rivera there off the punt.
That punt will more or less flip the field. Doherty will get this from their own 34.
37-yard punt right there for Elijah Rivera. It's always great to have the special teams unit being able to flip the field, put the offense in a worse position by having that. We saw last year towards the beginning of the season, Leominster didn't have that element. Now they have it.
First look at the Highlander offense. Josh Romeo, the quarterback, quick pass out to his right and jumps through the first tackle, can't get past the second. That's Isaiah Burchett.
And again, that's the issue right there when you try to run cover 4 if you're Leominster. Because you're not pressing or you don't have any space, you're really leaving too much space there for the bubble screen that we saw right there. Romeo reads it perfectly, sees that his receiver's got space. That's why you were able to get a 6-yard gain on that. They just keep doing that, keep moving the ball. That's where we're going to see a successful Doherty offense.
2nd and 5 from the 39. Fakes the handoff, doesn't fake the handoff. Rolling left, doesn't get much on it. Dante Agafor.
Richard Solomon right there coming out from the safety position. We saw Ben Marchetti there setting the edge, making sure that their running back, Dante Agapor, if he was able to bounce out, but unfortunately Solomon comes right in, cleans him up. That's why we see a great play right there from the Leominster defense, just being physical, making sure that you have your run gap responsibilities. Exactly what you're getting right there.
That was a long run, but much more left to right than downfield. Loss of 2. And this one will be a pass on 3rd and 7. Pass, oh, batted out of the air.
Xavier Cora, at the end of the day, you can always trust on him to make a play.
And it's Xavier Cora. We'll see him quite a lot on both sides of the ball.
He's one of the best players on this team. Honestly, probably the way that he benefits this team, he could probably, I would say he's the best player on this team, looking at just the fact that he's able to add so much element in the run game on offense, and he's just really a captain of this defense. Just can't replicate it.
And the punt comes from Josh Romeo. Passes. It is fielded and still running with it. Just short of midfield. A great return.
I think Delgado fumbled it at the end there. Luckily, Leominster hops on the ball, but again, you're seeing great blocks right there from the cornerbacks or the gunner, just stopping the gunners from really being able to set an edge there. Delgado has room to work with because it's a line drive punt too. Ton of space to work with. And a 16-yard return there for Delgado as well.
Even with the fumble, able to push it out of bounds, but a good return from him, and we'll see Blue Devils offense back to work once again. Hand it off. Up the middle, able to cross midfield, gets a few yards on it. That is Aramis Reyes.
We're getting a flag there at the end of the play. We're going to see what the extracurriculars are, but this is, again, what Leominster has been trying to work in throughout the entire season. They've been saying that we have 2 really good backs between Xavier Cora and Aramis Reyes, so now we're trying to make sure that we have a true 50-50 split between them. It's exactly what we're getting, but unfortunately, extracurriculars at the end of the play. It's going to cost Leominster some yardage. Looks like it's going to be 15 yards, too, with a taunting. So again, just these mental errors that sometimes happen through these games. This is why Leominster's been a lot slower in the first half typically. That's what we're seeing right now, unfortunately.
Easing into the game, easing into those nerves, and sometimes leads to a mistake like that. 3rd and 20 from the Blue Devils' 37.
Right, tell the DNs to watch the running back swing. Tight end.
Lopez has Cora to his left. Ricker in motion. Lopez Lowell's left, pass to Ricker, caught. Ricker almost stays on his feet.
And that's what they love with him. He adds that extra dynamic ability after the catch where you're able to get him in space where the cornerback isn't because he's being taken out of the play by that fade or the post right there. Leaves Ricker a lot of room to run. That's why we see the 11-yard pickup right there.
That'll set up 3rd and 9. Ricker gains 11 on the play.
And again, we're going to see trips right here from Leominster.
Trips to the left, Cora to the right. Lopez rolls right. Big pass is batted out of the air.
Just a little bit too short right there. Ryan Dennis in coverage. We've already seen him made a few plays tonight, making sure that Delgado doesn't get that quick movement into the game. They're just trying to take care of Leominster's #1 target typically. But this is where you just got to see the rest of the receivers really just, these guys have to step up after a while. You got to separate because Delgado's going to get doubled or he's going to get shadowed a little bit every once in a while just because he runs those deep routes.
We've seen a total of 3 drives this game. They've all gone 3 and out. Snap is very high once again. Kick doesn't have a ton on it. Takes a bounce in favor of Doherty and will be frozen at the 40.
Not going to be a great punt there. Might have been 10 yards, if that, maybe 13.
They'll spot it right at the 40.
Again, that one just went straight up in the air. Probably got caught with the wind a little bit. But unfortunately, that's sometimes what you get when you have a rough snap right there. A little bit high for Rivera, not able to get it all in one swing, unfortunately.
Now we'll see the Highlanders as a handoff to the right. Cuts right and still going, has room to go. Almost breaks through another. And for the first time this game, we will move the chains.
Delgado there coming in at the end. Just unfortunately, we're seeing right there, cornerback did not set contain. We're able to see a big play right there from Ben.
Ben Nyadek gains. I think they'll be about 25.
You know, Cody, I'm glad you said that last name. That was definitely a tough one to read. A lot of consonants, not many vowels, or it's just a lot of consonants in one spot. But hey, that's what you get out of the Leominster education sometimes.
I do apologize to him if I'm mispronouncing it, but I'm going to go with Ben Nyadek. And this one, another run, it's still going, able to get a few yards out of it.
Yeah, Richard Solomon having to come up. It's usually not a good sign if your safety's the one making the tackle, but when you're aggressive like Richard Solomon is, that's what you get every once in a while.
Agafor picks up 4, 2nd and 6. Pushing toward the halfway point of the first quarter.
We're seeing a lot of this dual running back formation here from Doherty. Usually you're going to see a lot more run heavy, but then again, we see Romeo. He's a very explosive athlete at quarterback, so that's what we get every once in a while.
Plays very similar to the way Lopez plays as he rolls to his right. And it's a big pass. He wants it all. And it's caught in the end zone. Ryan Dennis. And that'll be 6 for the Highlanders to open the scoring.
Yeah, just was able to get the post past Jadis Delgado, unfortunately. I don't know if it was a blown coverage there or whatnot, but just made it a little bit tough.
And that is a big pass, about 35 yards on it. And nearing the halfway point of the first quarter, 6-0 Islanders with a chance to make it 7. Kick is no good. A lot of pressure on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that one was a little bit tough, but hey, 6-0. I'm sure Leominster will take that extra point, but at the end of the day, it's those explosive plays. Just if you can stop them, be great. But we see right there Doherty attacking the run, making sure that everybody gets pressed up more closer to the line of scrimmage. And after a while, it lulls defense to sleep. And then once you hit that post pass, the safety, that's where you get those explosive plays. I mean, sometimes these guys, they're taught, hey, we want you to be physical, we want you to be physical. But when you have quarterbacks that can throw the ball 30-plus yards down the field with confidence, that's what you get right there.
And Highlanders open the scoring. 6:24 to go, first quarter. 6-0 the Highlanders lead on a big touchdown.
And we saw a little bit of the high kick, trying to give their return or the kickoff team some room to run, but there we go right there.
And this one fielded by Ricker, cutting to the right, and he's still up. And he's forced out of bounds.
Yeah, great coverage right there from Doherty. Only forcing about a 16-yard return right there. We're expecting a little bit more the way that he was leaking out, but again, Doherty, great coverage. Not much more to say about it.
Doherty's defensive side of the game so far looking very good, keeping Blue Devils quiet, save for the one big play from Ricker.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the big thing that we're going to see from Leominster. Usually they try to attack with an explosive play on that first drive after a score, but we'll see right here.
Lopez, the handoff for Cora, rolling left. Almost cuts through 2, can't get through it. And I'll pick up about 4 or 5 on that.
And I think that's that added element that Cora brings. He's able to bounce it out to the outside, but he's able to punish cornerbacks and safeties just because he's bigger than them usually, and he's got a really good cut ability where he just sticks his foot in the ground and it makes it really tough to track that hip for these defenders, which makes it tough to tackle, and that's why he usually gets another like 1 or 2 yards after first contact usually.
2nd and 5 after the Cora run. And it'll be Cora again. Again rolling to the left, cuts back into the middle, and he's swallowed up.
And we saw that counterplay. They loved that one last week. It worked really well against Milford. Just this time, unfortunately, running right into the teeth of the defense. And we see Cora, helmet comes off, so he's got to stay out for a play.
Watch the ball. Watch that tight end. Watch the screen.
And it'll be Aramis Reyes to step in for Cora. 3rd and 4 from the 37.
Seeing a lot of pressure from Doherty on the front right here.
Very hard count.
Just trying to get that free first down. Everybody's got to watch the ball right now.
Look at the snap off. Being pressured, rolling to his right is Lopez, and still going. He has a first down and quite a lot more out to the right. And he's almost all the way. There's a flag.
Going to be coming back, unfortunately. Jadis Delgado blocking the back, so it's going to be coming back to around the 50-yard line, but it's going to be a first down for Leominster.
Yep. Officials already pointing back toward midfield.
That's going to make Lopez a little more tired than usual, because how often are you running for 70 yards for a touchdown? Just getting called back. Looked like that was on Delgado. Unfortunate for the offense, but hey, you still get a first down out of it. New set of downs. It's more than you can say for the past couple drives.
And the call has come in. It is a holding on Leominster. We'll wait to see the spot.
Yeah, so it's going to be starting at the 49 now.
Neither team knew where that ball was going. Leominster were lined up back at the original line of scrimmage.
It's tough sometimes for these offenses because you go all the way down and then you kind of just lose track of where you were on the field. Sometimes these penalties, they get called a lot later, so you really never know what's going to happen. Usually these guys, they think, oh, we're going back to the original line of scrimmage. That time, just not the case.
New set of downs for the Blue Devils, moving the chains for the first time today. Lopez fakes the handoff. He's out to his left. The pass across his body. Through a couple different sets of hands. Ricker, the intended receiver, and it's incomplete.
It's just not enough flick on the wrist there. Trying to get it out to Ricker, who was a little bit past the defense. Just, it's tough when you're not set with your feet. Just makes it that much tougher to get your full body into the throw, especially when Ricker's that deep, going 25 yards down the field. Great coverage, though, by Doherty. For a second, thought that one was going to get picked off, but again, going to be 2nd and 10 now.
2nd and 10 from just across midfield. Lopez with both Cora and Delgado.
Doherty's going to be sending pressure right here.
And this one will be Cora up the middle, still with a little bit of room.
And that's what you get with Cora. He's going to keep his legs moving no matter what. Sometimes you can send 7 people. It's not going to work every once in a while.
Don't jump. Watch the ball. Don't jump. Don't jump.
And he powers through. Going to set up 3rd and short. Blue Devils, no huddle, same formation. They're going to do it again. Cora right up the middle. First down and a little bit more.
Attack in the front, but hey, we're going to see a face mask right here. Cora definitely got grabbed by the helmet. Probably going to be another 15 yards we see right here for the offense.
You could tell in the way that Cora went down, it looked a little awkward.
Every once in a while, you see that neck get pulled, strains it a little bit, makes it an easy call for the officials usually. That was great, too. You saw them run right into where they were sending pressure through the A-gaps. Seeing Cora just being able to read the defense, being able to see, all right, I see my B-gap instead, it's open, being able to just jump through, makes it a great run, gets the first down there.
And that'll put the Blue Devils into the red zone for the first time today.
And again, run game's working, so why not just keep going with it right now?
1st and 10 on the Highlanders 17. Call comes in as a horse collar.
We're seeing right now Doherty running one high.
Lopez going to throw that one. It's incomplete.
Trying to go to Richard Solomon. He's the guy that's filling in for Juan Miranda on offense. As we were mentioning earlier, he has the club on his wrist, so this is a guy that's not typically in there, but trying to get him some confidence. We see him pressed against their corner, one-on-one isolation. Hey, let's just try to throw a slant, get some quick, easy yards. Fortunately, just not connected right there with Osiris Lopez.
Richard Solomon, the senior wide receiver, the intended target. So 2nd and 10. Lopez hands it off to Cora. Cuts back through the middle, and he's all the way in. And it's Xavier Cora, and we are even at 6.
And that's exactly what you love to see right there. Cora just showing that ability of just being able to read what the defense is giving him. He sees that he has the room on the back end. Cut, does that, makes it real simple, looks great. So it's a 17-yard touchdown run from Cora.
Be Elijah Rivera to kick.
Sending pressure.
Kick is up and it is good.
Giving Leominster the lead right there. Great stuff from the offense. You saw what worked after a while, just being able to punish them through the ground, just taking advantage of your linemen right there. It's exactly what Leominster does, and I mean, it's really spearheaded by that interior line. We're seeing it Vittorio Pemerini. We're seeing it with the center, Gio DiMarzio, and then also at right guard, Antoine Lino Diego. Just those guys being able to set the front in those trenches from left guard to right guard. It's exactly what you love to see right there if you're Leominster football.
It'll be Rivera to kick. And back for the Highlanders, Francis Manna and Ryan Dennis. From left to right across your screen. Kick is very strong, a line drive. And the two bump into each other, but it's Manna with it. Looks to go up the middle, and he is swallowed down.
Just two guys that are overzealous to get the football and just see if they can get room and, hey, I want to be the one to take it. No, I want to be the one to take it. And that's what you get right there. Probably messed up the return timing a little bit where Dennis just wasn't able to set the block for him. But, again, at the end of the day, 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line here.
At the end of the day, if you're the Highlanders, you kept the ball.
Exactly. That's the bigger thing, too. As long as you're not putting the ball on the ground, who's really going to complain?
Last time out for the Highlanders offense, touchdown, followed by a failed extra point. Gives them their 6. Blue Devils burn them on that.
You see double heavy running backs from the right.
Man in motion as well. It's a QB keeper rolling out to the right, and there is nothing there.
We might get an illegal formation here. Looked like we might have had too many guys in the backfield. Receiver didn't look to be pressed on the line, so looks like that's what they're going to call right now.
Not the start you're looking for to a drive if you're the Highlanders here.
Yeah, so they called illegal motion right there. Not everybody was set on the line. Just mental mistakes right there if you're Doherty. You crack on those, I mean, hey, you're another big play away from just resetting the chains here.
1st and 15 from their own 15.
And it looks like Leominster is going into a nickel formation here, trying to take out one of their D linemen, sending in Osiris Lopez to play safety here.
And it is Lopez on the near side. Quick pass is caught right up the middle.
And again, just finding the soft spot in the zone, reading it, getting the catch, getting yards out of it. Great 1st down play from Doherty, just being able to get on the ball quick after coming out and spread.
Chris Lefferby with a gain of 11, 2nd and 4 now. Romeo looks for some direction. Snap comes in low. Passes in and out of the hands.
And I think the thing they're seeing right now is that because what Leominster likes to run on defense, usually they don't like to press on that very inside, that number 3 receiver in the slot. And because of that, if he just had some room to work with on the outside, either getting him the ball immediately or like we saw in that last play, being able to find the soft spots in the zone, usually that's how you attack these types of defenses. Just unfortunately for Doherty, not able to seal it in with the hands, and that's why we're here with 3rd down now.
Now it's Chris Lefferby again. He'll sit one out now. Ryan Dennis comes in.
Now they're sending in a little bit more of a heavy package for offense. Gonna get a timeout here. Looks like personnel is not fully set and on the same page.
Doherty will burn their first timeout. 7-6, Blue Devils lead the Highlanders. Final few minutes of the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it right now. Both teams, they found what worked on their last offensive drives. Just a matter right now for Doherty. Can we go back to it, set ourselves up in a long 1st and 15, but being able to get now to 3rd and 5, making it a manageable play and making the play calling a lot more simple and really opens up the book a lot. That's what you like to see. So we're going to see right here from 3rd and 5. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go back to that heavy formation and just try to see what Leominster set up on defense. Looked like a little bit more of a lighter box, so I think they were trying to attack that, but that's what we'll see right here from Romeo and Doherty.
Romeo has Nyadek back with him. A quick pump fake, passes out to the leftist. Nyadek out to the far sideline. Fights for every yard. He'll move the chains.
Yeah, he went with the offside or the double side screen where they try to fake the bubble screen, but instead running back slips out to the left where you see that linebacker just got a little bit too happy feet, tried following the screen on the opposite side, didn't hold contain. So that's what you see right there with the halfback slipping out, able to pick up easy 1st down and a lot more after the catch.
First and 10, Nyadek looks to go up the middle and he's swallowed up nice and easy.
Antoine Lino Diego being able to set pressure right there, make sure that it's tough for that guard on the opposite side. It's exactly what you see right there. Great stuff.
Picks up a yard, 2nd and 9.
And again, Doherty going back to that 3-by-1 formation where we saw with Lefebvre. He was starting to eat a little bit.
Snap for Romeo is low. Oh, nearly gets stripped there. Pass is caught.
Ryan
across
Dennis.
midfield.
Ryan Dennis, he's been having a night so far, folks, both on offense and on defense. He's got Doherty's only touchdown, but he's also had a few pass breakups on defense. Looking good so far for him.
Dennis, perhaps Algonquin's answer to Alex Cora. They'll set up a new set of downs. 1st and 10 inside the final minute of the first quarter.
Yeah, and right now Leominster is just having a tough time setting up their defense to this Trips offense here. They just haven't found the true answer where it's being able to press or whatnot, but Doherty just has a lot of speed here. You had a false start from the line there, unfortunately, for Doherty, but if you're Leominster, you love that. Going back to that 1st and 15 set. Stops the clock, too.
Algonquin are able to battle back out of that last 1st and 15. That one from deep in their own territory, and now just across midfield.
And again, sometimes when you're on defense, you start to ease up with your mindset a little bit where, all right, we got 1st and 15. I got an extra 5 yards to work with. Tends to really make a little bit more of a different mindset. You don't feel as aggressive normally. Probably what we were seeing from Leominster a little bit, but looks like Doherty's just going to take this to the end of the first quarter, flip the field.
Indeed they will. End of the first quarter. Here from Doyle Field and Leominster. Score, Blue Devils 7, Algonquin Highlanders 6. Doherty Highlanders 6, excuse me. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Second quarter just about underway here from Doyle Field. Highlanders with the ball just across midfield, attacking now right to left. And Liam Carton, a very back and forth first quarter.
Absolutely. Big thing I want to take away right now, and we'll get back to it after this play right here.
Romeo wants it all, just overthrown.
And I was just about to say it. We see Ryan Dennis. He's got a lot of that extra element, just having that speed to really press the defense. That's what we're seeing with Romeo. Him and Lopez, they're both very similar quarterbacks in terms of how they play, whether it be in the pocket or out of the pocket. They really love to test the field down, or test down the field, sorry, and just being able to stretch the defense out and find these areas and these gaps within and finding which areas to attack on the field. That's what we see from both sides.
Now sets up a 2nd and 15. Oh, dances through, but finally brought down.
Xavier Cora, that's what he brings. He's going to be a great tackler. He has a great feel for just where the ball is at all times. And that's going to be the big thing that Leominster has to do against Romeo, and even vice versa, what Doherty has to do against Lopez. Set pressure and make sure that you don't give either of these guys room to work with in the pocket and get out, just because it's so much tougher to stop them in these long downs. And just once you can contain that at the end of the day, that's where you get really effective defenses.
And this sets up a 3rd and 20 for the Highlanders. Now back across midfield. Romeo takes a snap. A quick pass into no man's land. And that'll set up 4th down and quite a lot.
And that's Lefebvre right there. They see something that they like with that third receiver in the slot. He doesn't get pressed usually, and also he has a lot of room to work with. That's what they're trying to attack right now. They see the seam, just unfortunately for Doherty, not able to connect there. Makes it for a 4th down where you're punting, trying to pin Leominster deep in their territory.
Romeo, the punter, it's a great punt. High, lofty, and traveling. Ricker muffs it. There are a lot of bodies to fall right on it.
Looks like we're going to see right now, but looks like Delgado hopped right back on it after muffing the punt right there. Just didn't have his hands together. Sometimes that's what happens. You know, every once in a while you got to make sure that you have your elbows together when you're fielding punts. It's one of the toughest things, especially against a good punter. Romeo is able to put that vertical spin on it as a returner, makes it that much more difficult of being able to just truly field it, because you got to be able to center your legs directly under the football, and again, that's what we saw right there.
Delgado bails himself out. Blue Devils will start right on their own 20. Lopez rolls to his left, breaks through one tackle, looks to get through a second and can't.
And we're starting to see right now Leominster trying to get Lopez involved through the ground over the past 2 games, really involving him in that quarterback counter, just trying to make sure that you keep a defense honest where, hey, we're not always just going to give it to our backs. We're trying to make sure that your defense slows down a little bit when we do go for that inside zone in situations like that.
Loss of 1 on the play. Lopez has Cora behind him. And it will be Cora. Oh, almost breaks through 2 tackles, and he stood up.
Yeah, they sent pressure right in the gap, in the B gap between the guard and the tackle right there. Set it with their middle linebacker. Again, great play right there. It looked like it was Ben Nidek. Great stuff right there. And then you're also seeing from this D-line being able to set pressure, making it tough for this Leominster front right now.
Highlanders were ready for the run, and it sets up a 3rd and 14. Blue Devils moving backwards.
You see a bunch right now from Leominster, so don't be shocked if they're just trying to get some space and get some separation for Ricker and Delgado right now.
And Lopez has all the time in the world. Puts it up. There's a lot of people there, and it's intercepted. Michael O'Connell, the junior, comes away with it.
He's trying to go for Zachary Oliver right there. Just didn't put enough into the throw, made it easy for O'Connell to just really just play center field essentially. And basically it's like playing a fly ball, get the pop out, and that's what we see right there. Basically an arm punt though at the end of the day, flipping the field.
Just about to say, does pretty much go down as an arm punt on 3rd and long.
Yeah, it sucks for Lopez's stats at the end of the day, but again, with how fluky the punting has been from time to time over the past couple years, sometimes you'll take that, just being able to perfectly flip the field and put Doherty in their own territory right now, make it a little bit
Highlanders
simpler.
bench electrified by that though, so they'll certainly take the momentum from it.
As you should.
And now Romeo gets to work. Shovel pass left. And he is brought down. Won't get anything on it.
Ben Marchetti just being able to get off his block and set the edge on the outside, making sure that that toss doesn't get much room to work with. Great stuff right there.
Agafor is brought down, and that'll be a loss. Loss of quite a lot. Goes down as a loss of 5. 2nd and 15.
And right now, Romeo getting a little bit extra of what to call for the huddle. Trying to stretch the defense out, make these linebackers work a little bit tougher. Ben Marchetti, though, being able to have an outside linebacker that understands, I need to make sure that this doesn't get outside of me. He does exactly that. That's why we see that loss of 5 right there.
You love this if you're Leominster, negating that momentum shift. And rolling to his right is Romeo. Passes off, and it's batted away.
And it's Richard Solomon right there, able to get his hands in the passing lane. Mika Powell trying to press Romeo out of the pocket. Sets a little bit of pressure for him so he can't get his feet set, throwing a perfect ball. That's what we see right there. So now 3rd and long for the Highlanders.
Third and 15 from the left hash mark.
Again, I wouldn't be shocked if they go back to that trips where they just have a lot more room on that right side of the field, trying to space it out. And that's exactly what we see right there, trying to make sure that they get their receivers in open room. And Ryan Dennis here isolated on the bottom.
A lot of pressure comes through, sneaks out of it, he's going to keep it himself. And he's brought down right at the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just surrounded by Ben Marchetti and Xavier Cora. Mika Powell working back. And again, just being able to contain Romeo so he doesn't get that extra dynamic element of, I can use my legs. One more thing that you have to account for as a defense. But great execution right there from Leominster.
Delgado to receive the punt. Comes in a bit shorter than what he's expecting. Oh, off the foot of a blocker. And Delgado falls on it. Yeah. Second consecutive punt for the Blue Devils. That almost goes terribly wrong.
Elijah Rivera just wasn't looking up at the ball, put his arms up, and it actually hit him right in the shoulder pad. Luckily, it bounced into Delgado's lap, and he was able to fall on it pretty simply. Great stuff right there from Delgado, just making sure that a bad situation doesn't get worse.
Special teams for the Blue Devils, bit of an issue tonight.
Yeah, but every once in a while you get these sort of lapses, and after a while, earlier in the season, special teams is tougher just because you haven't gotten enough reps of it in practice.
Yet to be punished too badly. And Ruts Reyes going up the middle, and he'll get some yardage.
That's what Aramis Reyes does for you. He's a ground and pound guy. He's either going to make sure that he goes between the tackles, and he's either running you over, or you're going to stop him, but he's going to get an extra yard or two by churning his legs out.
Gains 9, 2nd and 1. Under 7 to go here in the second quarter. And they'll do it again. This time out to his left is Reyes. Able to break through and still going. He has a blocker with him. Almost breaks away. 1 or 2 to beat and couldn't get through.
That's a great job by Antoine Lino Diego right there. He's setting the tone for that outside. I don't know whether to call it an outside zone or just being able to follow that gap to the outside. Makes it easy for Reyes, where he just basically follows 66 and sets it up for a huge run.
And they're going to do it again. Reyes to the left side. And he's still going. Brought down inside the red zone.
And I think they found a hole right now in the Doherty defense. Basically just back-to-back plays trying to hit that B gap. They've been sending pressure on that side from time to time. Just, again, Reyes just being able to use his blockers and just let them sets it up.
1st and 10 from the 11. And this time they're going to do it on the right. Reyes just short, couldn't punch it through.
Not quite. He's going to be about a yard short, but again, this is what he does. He just runs straight. I'm running through people. Nobody's taking me off my path. That's what he does so well, and it's crucial in these types of situations where now we see 1st and goal from the 1. Leominster's going to get about 4 plays to try it out here.
First and goal from the 1. Lopez to Reyes. And he tries to reach. And he's going to punch it through. It's a touchdown. Aramis Reyes. And halfway through the second quarter, Blue Devils make it a 7-point game.
And again, this is just so different to see being at Doyle with the lights, just that added extra, I don't know whether to call it just excitement or if it really just kind of boosts the crowd into the game as well. Everybody on the sidelines, they get even more into it. And going to be 6 on the board, hopefully 7 awaiting Elijah Rivera's PAT.
It is a great addition, these lights. The kick is blocked. Comes just short. But it is a great addition, these lights. First time we saw it was just before we went live, and the crowd went wild.
And it's part of that fact of these just got put in a few weeks ago. This is Leominster's first time being a part of this. Again, just being able to involve the crowd in these types of situations where it can create just that extra element of having this sort of participation from people outside of the field, being able to alter the game in any sort of way. That's what Leominster's trying to do here with these lights and just trying to add any sort of home game boost.
And it's interesting, too, if you look close enough when there's a flag, you can actually see they do change to a faint yellow.
They do. I haven't noticed that, but I'm glad you pointed that out, Cody.
It's a very cool addition to an already great stadium, Doyle Field.
Just trying to make sure that you modernize the field as much as possible. It has that old-time feel, but just being able to add in these sort of new elements that just keeping up with the times.
And this is a line drive kick. That'll be fielded from the 5. And rolling back out to the center, and he's going to be stood up.
Yeah, he was hoping
inside the 10.
He was hoping that was going to bounce outside, be able to get a penalty right there. unfortunately for him, but great for Leominster's kicker. Stayed right inside, made it tough for him, so that's why they're going to be so far back and deep in their own territory right now.
Elijah Rivera, the sophomore, taking the kicks for Leominster. And that's just a very well-placed one from him. Gets a great bounce on it.
Absolutely, and that's what you like to see. Makes it easier as you're kicking off here. Makes the lanes just that much shorter. And Dennis trying to bounce it to the left because that's the only shot he has at making a big play there. But every once in a while, sometimes you don't need to go for these big plays every single time. Sometimes just hitting those small ones, just making sure you get to the 15, it always works.
And Romeo sheds one. There's a flag on the play. He's still going. Back well
And that
outside the red zone.
That was a really nice play design, being able to fake the toss just because Leominster's only seen it once, so they're still trying to get that, trying to understand how to set the edge on these plays where you're attacking the edge, but Doherty counters it by going with their quarterback. But again, I think we're going to see this one come all the way back with a holding penalty. So it's just going to put Doherty even further back than they already were.
Doherty, we wait to see where this one will be spotted. Leave some discussion on that.
Just trying to find out where it really was spotted from.
Moving. Official currently has the ball on, I'd say maybe about the 3.
Yeah, it looked like they moved it up. Or actually, yes, you're right, Cody. Sorry. Should never correct you. You know what? You know what you're doing.
4-yard line, 1st and 14. Half the distance to the goal.
And again, Doherty going back to that trips formation.
Snap is low. Quick pass to the right. Is caught. He's still going. Swallowed up is Ryan Dennis.
And again, Leominster, because they've been getting beat on it so much, they put so much attention on that left side of the field that you basically are trusting your corner on that right side. Elijah Rivera gets the one-on-one opportunity with Ryan Dennis. Ryan Dennis just able to shake him, shake another guy, and able to pick up about 21 there.
Moves it up to the 25, well out of the danger area for the Highlanders. 1st and 10, Romeo, the quick handoff. And Blue Devils read that one all the way.
Great job by Jason Wilson right there. Gets through his gap, and because it goes away from him, he's able to track it down, make sure it doesn't get deep into the linebacker's territory. Great stop right there, only a gain of 1.
Ben Nyadek on the run there. I'll pick up about a yard, 2nd and 9.
And then we're going to start to see right here, Leominster gives up the big play, but can they just sort of chop it down and make sure that Doherty doesn't keep building off that? And again, going back to that trips formation.
And Romeo to his right. He's going to keep it himself. Dodges through one and through another. Finally brought down on a diving tackle close to midfield.
And that's that part right there where we were talking about Leominster puts so much attention towards the trip side that you only have really 2 guys on that backside. Romeo makes him look silly. He's just such a slippery runner. Picks up 16 on that last one.
New set of downs from the 42.
I wouldn't be shocked if we start to see a little bit more of a quicker tempo Doherty offense here, especially with how we're now approaching 3 minutes left of the second half.
3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Puts a little more urgency. Highlanders will get the ball. This one's going to be another run. Now in from Agafor. Moves the chains once again.
We're going to see a timeout right now from Leominster. Just trying to get your guys to calm down, relax for a second. They've got multiple big electric plays here. Let's try to chop it down a little bit. Let's not give up 3 before half. See if we can get our offense one more shot. If not, just stop them from scoring field goal, stop them from scoring a touchdown right now.
We're having a roller coaster of a drive here. Started with a great kick from the Blue Devils into a big gain brought back by a flag, followed by another big play.
And I think it's just Doherty right now. They're trusting their athletes in space. We've seen it with Romeo a few times. We've seen it with Ryan Dennis too. Just having these athletes and being able to isolate them and give them the best opportunity they can to shake a tackle or two. We see that Doherty's been doing that at such a high level right now. If they keep doing that, that's going to be what really puts them ahead in this game. It's really going to be a matter of whether or not Leominster just cracks down on that. They have to divert enough attention to all spaces on the field.
Unlike that last drive from the Blue Devils, Highlanders yet to really find any major hole.
I think they found it on that last one, though, so we're going to try and see if they can go back to it.
And another quick pass to the left, breaks through the first tackle, dodges past the second, breaks another one and still going, finally dragged down.
And again, the corner right there, that's where you have to be more physical than that. If you see your receiver, he takes one step forward and then jumps back a couple, you just have to realize, all right, I got to attack this hip. We see it there, just unfortunately does not happen. Dennis makes him look silly again, and that's what Doherty's found right now. They found that we have athletes, let's get them in space, and that's why they're moving so well on this drive right now.
Doherty from the Blue Devils 25. Aguilar and Nidek were back with him, able to throw that one away.
Great job by Marchetti there, setting pressure, getting off the block of the tight end there. Makes it a tough throw for Romeo. He's able to escape a tiny bit, but again, it's basically a throw into the dirt. That's what you're trying to see right now out of this Leominster defense, just being able to set pressure, make tough throws for Romeo, make sure that he doesn't have time to get these long, developing, deep plays.
Dennis got the ball out, still took the hit. So we see the field goal unit right here below us getting ready for a potential kick to end the half. Just over 2 minutes to go here. 2nd and 10 from the 25 for Doherty.
Trying to cut a little bit into this lead right now. Doherty would love if they can go into halftime tied, but we'll see right there.
Pass right, caught, and with a lot of room to run, quickly dragged down.
And again, it's just a numbers game at the end of the day. Doherty trying to get it out to Isaiah Burchett. You see the bubble screens open a little bit. You're able to pick up some yards out of it. Right now, Doherty is trusting their guys to win in one-on-ones. That's where they've been successful, so they're just going to keep going back to that well until Leominster just starts to crack down on their tackling a little bit, make it tougher for these guys to move in space, and just really try to create more of a telephone booth rather than trying to create these 5-yard portions where they're able to put a little move on you, able to get space.
Minute and a half now. Doherty doing a very good job burning some clock here. Third and 6. Snap is low but fielded. A lot of pressure. And he's going to be swallowed up. Ran into one of his own blockers.
And again, just collapse in the pocket. That's what you see from these linebackers right now. Aramis Reyes and Ben Marchetti meeting at the quarterback. Great job right there. We don't see the running back leak out, so they're given free reign to just basically attack and make sure that Romeo doesn't escape the pocket.
Sets up a 4th down, 4th and 10.
And Doherty, they're going to probably take a second to look at this, trying to just kill clock to make sure that Osiris Lopez and the Blue Devils don't have a minute plus to really push this field. And again, this is just great clock management right now from Doherty.
We'll be forced into at least one more play.
As we see the whole coaching staff basically coming on in the field right now.
And they're going to call a timeout. Figure out the game plan with 23 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah,
Down a touchdown currently.
I think right now they're either thinking, all right, we're going to set up our best shot play right now, or, hey, let's find our best play that gets us 10 yards at a minimum. That's what we're going to go with here. And if you're Leominster right now, you're being told, all right, we're most likely going to see a pass right here, just because you don't often see run game in these 4th and 10 situations. So just being able, hey, can we set pressure on Josh Romeo? Ben Marchetti's been doing a great job at that on this drive and these last couple plays, really. And we've seen it in the past where Mika Powell, Jason Wilson, these guys, they're just able to get to the quarterback a little bit better. And as the game goes on, that's usually when they start to thrive. Hopefully we see that in the second half. But right now, that's what they definitely need to do. Make sure that you don't give Romeo enough time to where he can find this 20-yard touchdown. Or this 25-yard touchdown, sorry.
At the very least, if you're Leominster, keep it out of the end zone. 23 seconds. Really only 1 or 2 plays, depending on how the first one goes.
And again, Doherty does have a timeout, so it's okay if they get tackled inbounds. Leominster running too high right now.
Drops back, a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and he's brought down. It's a big sack
And
for the Blue Devils.
Mika Powell, as we just mentioned, he's really good at getting to the quarterback. Freshman D lineman, able to put an end to the worry right there at the end of the half. So now we're going to see right here, 17 seconds. Do you try to call a couple plays right here to see, hey, can we really put one more score on the board? Can we make it a 2-score lead going into the half where you feel really comfortable putting your defense back out there for that first drive?
We know Lopez has the arm, and we know the Blue Devils have the weapons for it.
And not only does he have the arm, but we saw last year around this time, Lopez was able to take like a 50-yard run to the crib. Wouldn't be shocked if he tries to use his legs right now, as it's probably his best element of just how he's able to separate himself in this defense.
It was the final play of the first half in Holden against Wachusett last year. One of the plays of the year for the Blue Devils. Lopez first to his right, dropping back still. A lot of pressure on him, and nobody can get a hand on him. Dodges through another and another. Lopez putting on a clinic in juking.
At this point, unfortunately, because you take up so much time, you had 17 seconds left on that clock, but you take so much up of it in the backfield, you don't go out of bounds quicker. But hey, at the end of the day, it was a long shot anyways. We're going into half now, 13-6 up. You're going to see really these next 24 minutes of football. Can Leominster continue to be physical, and is Doherty going to keep getting these explosive plays with their athletes?
Lopez, good or bad, will take that highlight with him. And at the half, 13-6, Blue Devils leading the Doherty Highlanders. Don't go anywhere. Second half from Doyle Field coming up right after this. We welcome you back to Doyle Field here in Leominster. We're getting a really good taste now of these new lights with the sun having completely set. And under the cover of the night, it looks amazing.
It's dynamic, it's beautiful. I wish they had this 5 years ago when I was playing. But hey, beggars can't be choosers.
Wish they had this 5 years ago when I wasn't playing and was still at LHS. This is amazing. This is very cool to see. In the final few minutes here of the half, 13-6 Blue Devils lead. Nothing but touchdowns today, but both teams having missed an extra point. Sets us up for a very interesting second half. It will be Doherty, the visitors, to get the ball.
I think the big thing right now for Doherty that they've been so successful with is this 3-letter acronym, YAC, yards after catch. We've been seeing it so much. They get their guys in space, and they're basically trusting their athletes. All right, here we go. We're going to basically put each guy in a one-on-one, trust our athlete to beat your athlete. That's what we're going to do. That's how they've been attacking it. Leominster, we've seen in the run game, be very effective on both of their scoring drives, and I think you just got to go back to that right now. I mean, Aramis Reyes on their last scoring drive basically put the team on his back, was effective in every single run he had. Every time he touched the ball that drive, it felt like it was a 15 to 20-yard gain constantly. And just being able to trust Antoine Lino Diego on almost every single run on that drive. If you can just go back to that right now, try to find, all right, Doherty has been sending pressure through these gaps. If we can just decide, hey, you know what? You're going to send pressure through these gaps. Let's let you do that, and we'll try to bounce it out and take our guards and take our tackles and move them out so that they can get these one-on-ones against these linebackers and these safeties instead of always having to go against the D lineman every single time.
A very back and forth first half. Both teams had a couple of good drives. Final drive of the half, at least right toward the end of the half, we saw Doherty stall out in the final few seconds.
And again, we've seen Leominster be a much better second half team than a first half team. So we're going to see right now if they can continue that trend. I mean, they're a lot better than they usually are in the first half, scoring 13 points, getting 2 touchdowns on the board. But we're going to see right here.
Low line drive kick from Blue Devils to Dennis. And he's going to be stood up. They're going to get him just before the 30.
Great job right there by Philip Nafor. Set the edge right there on Ryan Dennis, who's been really shifty, and he's made a lot of people look foolish tonight when trying to tackle him. But instead, Nafor just goes right at him, chest to chest, not letting you get past me.
And Doherty didn't like the finish on the tackle, but no flag. Ball spotted at the 27.
And sometimes it's what you see out of these special teams guys. They're not usually on the field, but when they are, they're going to put that extra bit of effort and oomph into their hits. That was what we saw right there by Philip Nafor.
Making every play count. And Dennis rolling to his right. The pass is off. Pass is caught. And with room to run, Isaiah Burchett. And he's brought down past midfield, well past midfield.
And we're seeing right now a little bit of some broken coverage going on from Leominster. Saw Romeo for a second, looked like he clutched it, and he was going to go to Dennis on the post. And instead he goes for a 36-yard gain to Burchett.
Ball on the Blue Devils 32.
We're going to see right now.
Same formation again. This one's Nyadek, and he's brought down. He'll pick up a few yards.
And right now we've seen a lot with these 2-back formations, the split back. A lot of see the fake inside zone one way, and instead they lead it to the other side. It's usually, sometimes you see the pulling guard, sometimes you haven't. That's what we've seen out of these split back formations. And when it's not that, typically we've seen Romeo get out, get moving, get some confidence on these throws.
2nd and 6, gain of 4 for Nyatek. Snap is low, quick pass, caught, the play is dead.
We're going to get legal formation or false start.
Play blown dead as soon as it started. Call is going to be a false start on the Highlanders. We'll take it back 5 for 2nd and 11.
Looks like on the right guard there, but again, if you're Leominster, you'll take that after that first down play. Saw a nice little run from Nyatek, and instead, now it's going to be 2nd and about 11 here. Limits the play calling a little bit here.
Second and long, 2nd and still pretty manageable. We've seen the Highlanders take themselves out of much worse.
Right now, looking like a lot of confusion right now from the receivers.
Romeo has Agafor back with him. The block turns out to be pivotal, and he's tripped up.
That's Hankins right there. Pushes the lineman into Romeo. Not able to set his feet together. Huge loss on the play. Sets up 3rd and really long. Gives a little bit more of a cushion for these Leominster DBs right now.
3rd and 16 is the task at hand.
I wouldn't be shocked here. Doherty tries to send trips to the far side of the field with Dennis to this close side on the left. Try to give him an ISO situation. We've seen that a lot from them. That's where they've been most effective in terms of their alignment. And
Highlanders bringing out Lepperby and Dennis. 2 receivers we've called more than once tonight. And will be Agafor back to help block. Quick pass goes to Agafor. He's going to have a lot of room to make up, and he certainly won't.
Xavier Core tracking him down out of the backfield. We saw Hankins try to set a little bit of toughness for him to get out of the backfield on that swing route. Said we see 4th and 15. Kind of no man's land in terms of high school football. Not going to see kickers from out here usually attempting. So can't punt it from here either just because there's not enough room to work with. So instead, you have to keep your offense out here on these 4th and 15s.
4th and 13 from the Blue Devils 35. Just over 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Drive so far burned off about 4 minutes.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. Trips to the far side. Emon Dennis isolated. And it's going to be a free 5 right there, so it makes it closer to 3rd and 8 rather than 4th and 8 rather than 4th and 13.
And that's a big break for the Highlanders. Much more manageable now.
But again, you're probably still keeping similar concepts. Probably chopping it down by about 5 yards, but again, the play calling doesn't change too much here. Probably just going to be a little bit more of a crossing route type of thing going, or instead of having to go for that shot play now, keep it a little bit more on that intermediate side.
4th and long versus 4th and mid. Definitely doesn't change things quite a lot. But much more manageable now. And we've seen Romeo make some yards with his legs once or twice tonight, and that becomes a little more of an option if you need it.
Absolutely, and especially on these 4th downs.
Drops back. The pass is caught.
See where they spot it, and they give him the first down.
And they'll give it to him. It was certainly close. That came on the opposite side of the chains.
That was a great job by the receiver. He pressed Juan Miranda enough where at the breaking point of the route, makes it tough for Miranda to really move and get hands on him. Instead, breaks out. Great throw by Romeo. Great route. Get the first down. That's probably what you were looking for on that extra 5 yards. Instead of having to throw a 15-yard out route, now you only throw a 10-yard out route. Makes it a lot more simplistic on the quarterback, especially on those long throws going hash to hash.
And it works out perfectly, able to toe the line. And the drive will continue.
And we saw right there, right guard got a little bit too antsy. Going to push them back 5 yards again. So back-to-back sets of downs. See Doherty started out with 5-yard penalties.
So you said second straight first down with a false start. Getting a little antsy, the O-line.
And sometimes that's what happens, you know, first drive back out of half. You're down by 7. You really want to put points on the board here. Sometimes these guys, they just get a little bit nervous and anxious. So sometimes these mental errors come a little bit more into effect here.
1st and 15 from the Blue Devils 26. And the pass caught right up the middle by Dennis. And he won't have a first down, but he's going to set up a second and very manageable.
That is going to be about like 2nd and 4 maybe. 2nd and 3 possibly, but
2nd and 3, gain of 12.
again, just great job getting Dennis in space, giving him a slant. Nice easy route, nice easy throw for Romeo. Going against an isolated Elijah Rivera there.
Dennis' snap is low. He's going to keep it himself. Cuts back to the left, and he's in. That'll be a touchdown for the Highlanders.
That's what you get right there. A little bit of a read option. Probably was closer to QB keeper right there. Basically, give Romeo room to run. Get some one-on-ones against these linebackers and DBs. Give him enough space, and he's going to make some room with it. Get a touchdown right there. Great stuff by him.
And the second straight meeting between these two teams dating back to last season. Very close game. Not much headway being made. And the extra point to tie it.
And that's what you can expect when you have two very similar offenses, two very similar defenses. So now Doherty pretty excited now that they've evened the score now.
Kersonis the kicker, and that is right down the middle. We are all square at 13, halfway through the third quarter here at Doyle. And for the first time this half, we'll look at Lopez and the Blue Devils offense. Liam Curtin, what are you looking in terms of changes for Lemonster?
In terms of the offense?
In terms of the offense.
I think right now you got to go back to the run game. It was working earlier, not on the inside zone, but being able to get Aramis Reyes or Xavier Cora, try to give them some opportunities against these corners where you get it to the outside. And I think after a while, you have to just trust your line, whether it be pulling a guard or something like that, just trying to get mismatches against this D-line. I think that's going to be the most crucial part, setting the physical tone right now with your line, because you know you can do it. We've seen them do it in the past. It's just a matter of actually executing right now. And I think also, you got to start getting Ryan Ricker involved. Just give him something.
And Ricker able to field the kick. It was a little bit awkward for him, but he's got a lot of room to run down the left side. Makes it to the sideline. He broke through very nearly at midfield, and there is a late flag. Flag came after Ricker was out of bounds. This one could be moving either way. Initial spot looks like it'll be the Blue Devils 46. And it's a personal foul against Doherty, a late hit.
You're seeing some tempers fly right now. Try to be cool-headed in these moments. When you give them 15% of the field that they don't have to walk now, makes it a lot easier. Now instead of having to go round 54 yards, now it's only 39 yards. So, I mean, you give Osiris Lopez that extra space. Can't do that if you're Doherty.
This is around the same field position last quarter, where we saw Reyes just pound it right up the middle, and that's what they're going to try and do with Cora there. They'll get a few yards out of it.
Yeah, just going for the inside zone right there. They like their matchups on that interior line. That's where they usually excel. Giovanni DiMarzio, he's really good at just, you can always count on him to make a great snap, but also he's able to work to the linebackers because he's very athletic for a center. This is usually the type of guy that Lemonster likes to have at centers. They like these athletic, sort of more lean guys.
And they're going to do it again. It's Cora once again up the middle, and he's got a backpack on him, and he gets the first down and then some.
Yeah, that's Leominster trying to run one back power. They pull both guards right there. Cora just follows them, finds where the gap is, hits the hole, get the first down right there. And you see especially right now, Leominster trying to pull the safeties out of the play by sending their wide receivers so far out of the field.
And they try it once again. This time he'll pick up a little bit, maybe a yard or two. Can't expect it to work like that every time, but yards are yards. First down, you take 3 yards on a run.
What's the tight end? The tight end.
Ricker in motion right to left. Snap comes in. They're going to run it again. Cora this time to the right. He's got a trailer with him, and he's going to punch it through.
Great block from Antoine Lino Diego right there. Cora makes it simple for him. Basically just break one tackle, and we're working out. Seeing it get a little feisty between some of these wide receivers and DBs. But hey, that's what physical football is.
And that flag at the beginning of the drive comes in crucial. Leominster able to just run it in with Alex Cora. I think that was the only touch we saw on the ball.
I mean, we saw, honestly, I don't even think that 15-yard penalty would have mattered. He probably would have walked that in from 15 yards further out. Didn't have anybody out there on the edge for Doherty. Great stuff right there. But Antoine Lino Diego, that was a great block. And we're going to see 5 yards closer right here. So, hey, don't be shocked if Leominster tries to go for 2 here. They've done it in the past where if it just gets to that 1.5 yards. So, again, that's what Gates is going to do right now. Send out the offense, go for 2, penalize the defense.
Yep, and we are seeing Lopez take the field.
That was just a mindset he always had, especially when we were playing under him. If the defense is going to jump, hey, we're gonna punish you for it. We're gonna go for 2. Usually they like to send in this formation they call Gata, where basically we have three backs in the backfield, but Leominster doesn't run that anymore. So instead, we're gonna run 2 back with Reyes and Cora.
Reyes to the left, Cora to the right. It'll be Reyes. Somebody had a fistful of jersey, but he punches through anyway.
And great lead block right there from Cora, but also setting the tone we saw with Gio DiMarzio. Great job from the front right there. I mean, just electric stuff up front. And we also saw Carter Austin a little bit, getting a little excited because he was able to set the edge on that outside. And again, makes it easy for Reyes. Basically just run forward in a straight line. 2 extra points on the board. So now it's an 8-point game.
Doherty struggling to find an answer for the Blue Devils run game here. And that makes it an 8-point game. 21-13, 4:50 to go in the third quarter. Now we'll get another look at the Doherty offense.
And again, just Leominster just answering Doherty. It's what you like to see mentality-wise. Hey, you can put 7 points on the board, but we're going to go back. We're going to score also.
Dennis fields the bounce. He's got a hole right up the middle. Almost broke away from that one, too. Brought down at the 35.
And again, you give a guy like that enough room, he's going to find space. He's going to find a way to wiggle out of it. You don't want to be giving Dennis room to work with, especially on these kick returns. But especially, I think it's even more crucial that you don't do it when he's on offense. Because we've been seeing a lot when they get him in the screen game, you can't give him any yards to work with. You got to be able to be on his hip from the line of scrimmage. If Leominster can do that, I think they'll be golden.
And now Josh Romeo takes the field to lead the Highlanders offense. Down 8, still with plenty of time on the clock, still just the third quarter.
Going to the pistol here, a little bit different.
Handoff, not much on that.
Nate Hakins coming in from the edge. Great stuff right there.
Dante Agafor, the carrier, he picks up a yard. He'll make it 2, 2nd and 8.
And again, Nate Hankins, he seems to be a lot more comfortable against the run rather than the pass. And sometimes it's so nice to have those guys on the edge where you can trust them that they're going to set the contain to make sure that Agapor, he doesn't basically get that cutback type of run where he's going to burst. But just being able to track that down from the backside, great stuff from Hankins, man.
And snap is low, but he'll field it. Dropping back, a lot of pressure on him. Looks to call a shot. Pass is nearly intercepted.
And Marchetti had it in his hands. Great break on the ball. Looked like the receiver and Romeo just weren't quite on the same page. Marchetti, though, that was a great break on the ball. Just sometimes you just got to finish and make sure that you haul it in.
Romeo forced to hold on to the ball, maybe just a bit longer than he wanted to. 3rd and 8. Marchetti robs himself of the interception.
You see trips right now to the near side, so don't be shocked if they try to go to Lefebvre. Although now they've switched it a little bit where they're going to press him a little bit, but the number 2 receiver.
Snap comes in low again. This one to the left is caught for a first down.
That's exactly what it was. They went to the number 2 receiver. Leominster now, instead of putting pressure on that slot, that number 3 receiver, they leave, it looks like Burchett right there, wide open on the 10-yard out route. New set of downs for the Highlanders.
Isaiah Burchett was the receiver, and he'll get the first down.
Again, don't be shocked if they go to Dennis right now.
And that pass caught, and that is Burchett again on the far side.
No need to do that. I mean, Leominster right now hasn't had a really good answer against this Trips offense. They're either putting too much pressure on one side or trying to even spread it across the field. It's causing nightmare matchups right now. Just got to crack down on it. It's something that you just got to talk to your defensive coordinator a little bit more and talk to these DBs. Try to figure out where they're more comfortable.
Now we'll get them across midfield. Romeo drops back and now pushes forward. Passes up, passes incomplete.
Yeah, just throwing it out of bounds there. Didn't see anybody wide open, so wasn't going to try and force anything there. Always quarterbacks, first thing that you're told sometimes, make sure you don't throw anything stupid when you're trying to roll out of the pocket. Just make sure it's a simple throw. If not, just chuck it out of bounds.
Especially on a 2nd and 5. Sets up 3rd down now.
Right now, Doherty trying to figure out who to get on the field, who to get off the field. So they got 5 wide out right now.
It is an empty backfield after some personnel confusion. And Romeo, the quick pass is caught.
Just shy of the first down right here. Going to be about 4th and 1.5. About 4th and 1, actually.
Lefebvre be the receiver, just short. If he had caught it on his feet, probably would have had enough.
Doherty sending out the 2-back personnel right now. Don't be shocked if they go for QB keeper even. We've seen that a couple times work. Or they're just going to go straight to the inside zone here. Let's see.
The run game has certainly worked for them for most of the night. Wouldn't be surprised if they just try to punch this one in.
Is Doherty taking their time in between plays right now.
No need to play with much urgency. Still 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. They'll punch this one up the middle. And gets just enough on it. Maybe a yard to spare.
It looked like he picked up about 4 there, so great stuff right there from the inside zone. It's just what you're looking for in these short yardage situations. They found the gap that they like. They hit the A gap, and it turned into the B gap. And Leominster just didn't have a linebacker that was quick enough to get there and meet the running back in the hole. Ends up being a new set of downs for Doherty.
Minute and change to go here in the third. Not a lot of possession changes this quarter. Shovel pass left. A lot of room to run. And he will go all the way. That is Andre Perkins. Found a wide open gap.
And again, they haven't been hitting the toss too often. Linebackers were so pressed on the inside zone just because that's what they've been seeing so often. Perkins instead reads his blockers perfectly. Great stuff from the guards and tackles there, pulling. Makes it really easy. Perkins, basically no one touched him. Great stuff by Doherty. If you're Leominster right now, you just got to figure out how are we going to crack down. It feels like we're spreading ourselves out too thin at the line of scrimmage, but again, just figure something out.
Andre Perkins, the freshman with the big run. And now decisions to be made by Doherty. They are going to go for two. Timeout. Timeout. Yeah. Doherty.
I think they might have not had the right personnel out there. It looked like that would have been close to an illegal formation. They were trying to send an extra tight end to that right side. Looked like nobody was on the same page at the end of the day, so Doherty calling a timeout, resetting for this two-point conversion to see if you can tie the game back up.
Would have made it much more difficult if he didn't catch that and take the penalty. And suddenly, once again, shaping up to have another great game, second week in a row.
Can always count on it to be kept close. But we'll see what happens in this fourth quarter. Who knows? Maybe one team decides to run away with it. Hopefully in Leominster's favor. But again, I do not have a magic crystal ball. I don't know about you, Cody, but...
Nor do I, but both teams have shown glimpses of moments where they could just run away with this game. Could go either way. And this two-point conversion to tie the game.
Don't be shocked if they just run to the right.
And they're going to run it to the right. It's Romeo. Cuts back. And he's going to be stood up. No good.
Great job right there. Jason Wilson and a couple others making sure that Romeo can't get all the way out there on the edge. Cora comes in to clean it up. That's why you're able to stop him.
And that is a crucial stop from the Blue Devils. 21-19 your score, minute 26 to go. Third quarter, Blue Devils set to get the ball.
And again, going in with a two-point lead right now. You always like that heading into the fourth quarter. Granted, we're not quite there yet, but always enthralls everybody on the team. Make sure that everybody's into this.
Still plenty of time in this one. But shaping up for a great finish.
You got, looks like Ricker and Wilbon.
Ricker and Wilbon, the usual suspects for the Blue Devils. Wilbon, the freshman, has looked great on the ball tonight.
I wouldn't be shocked if they kick it to Wilbon here. Instead, going for the squib instead.
They're going to squib it, and it will be fielded by Owen Parlin, who will fall on it.
Yeah, just not fielded cleanly right there. Again, that's usually why they're trying to kick it to these mid-level guys. They're not the guys that usually have the hands of someone like Ricker and Wilbon, who you can trust them to catch the ball. Parlin a little bit there, though. Just sometimes those grounders, they take that hop like we saw there. Just that much tougher to field.
Parlin, the junior, does enough to at least keep possession.
That's all that matters.
Has been an issue at times for Blue Devils today. Few muff kicks. This will set up the 25-yard line. Lopez hands it off to Reyes, out to the right. Breaks through one. Looks to fight through another, and he's out of bounds.
That's a great job right there. Reyes hitting the stop and start. Looks like Osiris Lopez trying to make sure that Doherty's Connor Gentilucci, making sure that he's stretched out, trying to stretch him out himself. Like the sportsmanship there, but try to make sure we can get the proper trainers out here instead. Interesting situation we got here.
Minute 12 to go here in the third. We pause for a brief injury. With a big drive coming for the Blue Devils.
Again, I think Doherty got caught off a little bit there. Usually, because Reyes has been so heavy on just being physical and just the mindset of I'm going to run through you, hits a little bit of a stop juke right there. And because just you're not used to that, you're usually trying to bring your full force when you're coming into him with a shoulder. Makes you pay a little bit, gets 18 on the gain, and that's what you see right there. Great stuff by Reyes. And the line right there, I mean, just being able to follow Antoine Lino Diego on that outside, and then also Nate Hankins, making sure that they get to that linebacker level, and just making sure that these guys aren't the ones that are making plays. Reyes uses his speed. Great stuff again. We've been seeing that that's been a strong note right now from the Leominster run game. If they can just keep going back to that, I think they'll be golden, and just trying to get plays that work off of that right now. I think that's going to be the key for this final quarter.
The injured player up and walking off on his own. Always a good thing to see.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit more of just a calf pull. There's just making sure you're staying hydrated. That's usually when you start to cramp up, but best of luck to him.
We approach the later stages of this one. Final minute of the third quarter. Minute 12 to be exact. And it's Lopez with Reyes behind him. Ricker in motion right to left. And Reyes looks to punch that one through, and there's too many bodies in there. He'll make it back to the line.
Great job by the linebackers. They read where Reyes is going, reads it perfectly, meet him at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Great stuff. Great physical football going on right now.
2nd and 9, he gained a yard.
And again, I think going into this fourth quarter, I know we're going to get one more playoff, but I think Leominster, you just have to get Ryan Ricker into the game somehow. Just whether it be a jet sweep, something, just get him in space, because he's been so dynamic and he stretches the defense.
Fakes the handoff. The pass is incomplete. They were looking for Ricker.
And again, that's great route by him. Just Lopez has to set his feet or something. Just get that on the money, because, I mean, he's wide open with room to work with on that boundary. Again, it was a great corner route by him. He pressed the leverage that was on the inside, made sure that the corner didn't know exactly where he was going to go. Hit a nice little two-step rocker, got outside. Great route.
That will kill the clock with 15 seconds to go. Ricker in motion right to left. Lopez will do the same. Big pass.
Going to Oliver now.
They want Oliver in and out of the hands.
Looked like that was right there for him. Just he didn't track it right, but now we're going to see the punt team come out as we're going to get the punt here before the fourth quarter starts up now. Definitely crucial right there if you're Leominster.
With 7 seconds left.
And he got past the defense. It's just, I don't know if he lost in the lights. That tends to happen sometimes for these receivers. Ball's a little bit more of a lofty one. So, I mean, these new lights, maybe they're doing more damage than good right now for the Blue Devils.
Rivera fields the high snap. And that will take a few Blue Devils bounces. And be frozen at the 20. And that'll do it for the third quarter.
Nice
here at Doyle
bounce.
Field. 21-19 Blue Devils.
Evan Spar making sure that he spots it there. Great job flipping the field for the punt team. I know it's been a little bit tougher than normal tonight, but Again, this is where the game is made. Fourth quarter right here. Who's going to stick to their guns? And just Doherty right now, I think you can say it pretty confidently. There's really three people that are carrying this offense. We've seen it be Romeo, we've seen it be Dennis, and every once in a while we see Lefebvre, but also in this run game. We saw Andre Perkins come out for a few plays, and he got that toss right there, so left side of the line was really good on that last drive. Saw a lot of successful runs go that way. Just going to be a matter of if Leominster can finally find the keys to stop this car.
Both teams having good nights running, and it works out. It's been raining most of the day, certainly slick out there.
And that's what you get. Sometimes you get these throws that are a little bit not what they normally are in terms of accuracy. It's going to be a little bit slippery coming out of the hand. Sometimes you don't get that perfect spiral either. So sometimes it carries with the wind a little bit more, especially on these deep balls. But
first and 10 from the 20. A lot of field to make up in a full quarter to do it. 2 points the deficit for Doherty, and they're going to go big on the first play. There's a lot of contact in there. Doherty wants the flag. They won't get it. Ryan Dennis, the intended receiver.
We're seeing everybody shocked that it wasn't PI.
Certainly a lot of contact in there, but I think you can make the argument Dennis kind of turned and initiated some of it himself.
And sometimes you can say that, but at the end of the day, no penalty. At the end of the day, incomplete pass, Leominster will take that. And, yeah, I mean, we're seeing right now Doherty trying to attack the near side corner. It's been working all night typically, so just trying to go back to that well.
That was a potentially game-defining throw that goes incomplete. Second and 10. Dennis being given all the time in the world. Passes up, and that'll be thrown away.
Yeah, just great passing lanes. Wind's picking up a little bit, as we've noticed here. So
it is. We can feel it, feeling a little bit more of a crosswinds now as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes that puts a little bit into your mind of like, oh, can I really trust this throw to go deep and not get carried with the wind, and then it makes it an easy pick for the safety or any corner in the play. I mean, again, you're just gonna try and figure out what's working, what's not. And I mean, with Doherty right now going back-to-back pass plays, nothing there yet, but we'll see on this third down.
Wind started left to right is kind of turning to be a little more toward the camera here at Doyle. Third and 10.
Romeo keeping it himself.
Bit of an awkward play action and not going to get a lot off on that. Gain of about 5. Will be 4th and 5. And they'll bring the punt unit out.
I think the one thing, too, we've seen with Romeo when he tries to make guys miss, he lifts the ball a lot with his hands. I'm shocked that I haven't seen it with Leominster yet, where you haven't had a guy who is either near the ball or that guy trying to make the tackle. Sometimes you don't even have to always make the tackle. If he's going to miss, try and see if you can punch the ball up, give your defense a chance to hop on it.
This is a very good punt that takes a Leominster bounce and will be stopped at the 45. Good field position for the Blue Devils. Looked like it was going to be a much better punt than it was.
Nice 3 and out there if you're on the defense. And then I think it's just, again, the wind's carrying the ball right now. I mean, we're seeing the flag go coming towards the camera this way here, straight ahead. Just right now. Now you got to see what you can dial up here if you're Leominster. I think you just got to go back to what's been working. Just keep using the run game. Ricker's been open on his routes. It's just a matter of getting him there. Try to give him a little bit more space too, and let Osiris just really set his feet in the pocket.
We're seeing Ricker on the near side. Lopez has Cora behind him. He'll hand it off to Cora. Looking to go up the middle. He's swallowed up. He'll gain a couple of yards on it.
Yeah, you got a gain of 4, almost 5 there. So, again, that's what you're looking for if you're running back. You can get the hard 4. Anything after that is a bonus. A little bit of an awkward spot there, so I guess they're going to only give him 3. After initially, it looked like they gave him a 4-yard.
Ricker and Oliver on the near side again. This one, Lopez will keep it himself. Dodging and weaving. Just gets to midfield.
And again, they called counter to this coming our way towards the camera. Lopez instead tries to go to that right side. I thought he saw a zone, but again, that's what they're trying to do with this QB counter. You're trying to get Lopez blockers in space, go the opposite way of where the play fake's going, trying to see if you can manipulate these linebackers a little bit.
3rd and 5 from midfield. About as close to dead center as you can get.
And we're seeing Rickard, he's off the ball, but he's getting pressed if he runs a route.
And it'll be Cora up the middle.
Be a first down.
And he's certainly got enough. Gain of 6, had a yard to spare. He'll move the chains.
Again, that's what we're seeing. Leominster trying to go back to inside zone that they love. That time, setting up the counter instead.
And when you have players that can rush like Reyes and Cora, why not?
I mean, you also got a quarterback too. It's just a matter of can he hit the hole and trust it.
This will be Cora again, another one up the middle.
So again, his contact balance is as good as it gets. He's able to, he gets hit, but somehow he always finds a way to fall forward. So he always gets like that extra yard.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Blue Devils driving pretty steadily.
Yeah, I think right now they're just trying to take some time off the clock. Just get a nice, long, efficient drive here.
Cora out to the right, cuts back toward the middle. Man, that'll be first down and then some.
And Doherty just didn't send anyone out there on that far side. Made it a really simple block for Nate Hakins there at the right tackle spot. If you're going to keep making it that easy for Cora where he can just read, all right, I'll bounce it this time. If you're going to make it that simple for me, easy first down. 13 on the gain.
1st and 10 on the 27. Blue Devils threatening. Cora again, middle right, and he'll get a few yards out of it.
And again, right now, we've seen Leominster just trusting Cora right now. Why not? Gonna give him a breather right now, put Reyes in. It looks like Doherty's trying to get the right personnel out there on defense.
Doherty looking to find whatever combination they can to stop this run game. 2nd and 3 from the 20, now inside the red zone.
Out of the pistol. Don't be shocked if it's inside zone here.
Lopez, he'll throw this one, looking for the back corner for Oliver.
Again,
incomplete.
They keep going to Oliver right now, just haven't been able to finally connect on one of those deep balls. Saw earlier, tried to target him, got picked off by Michael O'Connell, but again, I think in that situation, I mean, run game's been working. I know Corey was out for that play, but I think you just got to trust your guys right now. I'm sure right now it's 4-down territory. You don't really want to kick a field goal here. So don't be shocked if you see a run play here. Try to see if you can get the first down and go again on 4th.
Yeah, field goal doesn't do anything for you. Changes the lead from 2 to 5. Ricker hard in motion to the right. And they'll run this one with Reyes. He looks to punch through.
Gonna be close, so I think we got a 4th down incoming.
It's looking like it's gonna be 4th and about 1.
Here we go, Leominster, just get your best play right now. You're gonna call. Whatever Doherty gives you, attack that.
And they'll keep Reyes in the backfield.
Again, I think they're trying to go for the hard count too. Try to see if they can get a cheap 1st down here.
Why not? Burns even more time. Reyes to his right, he's got room. 1st down, and he's brought out of bounds with a big hit.
Big hit, Ryan Dennis pushes him out of bounds. Hey, at least you stopped the clock there a little bit. That's the good news at least. Now that Leominster is in 1st and goal territory. Again, they've just found something on that outside zone, finally working.
1st and goal from the 6. Reyes again, cuts to the middle, and they read that one the whole way.
Yeah, met him back at the line of scrimmage. Was able to shake a guy, but again, just too many people in the backfield.
Lopez runs back to Coach Devin Gates for some direction.
Yeah, I think right now Lopez is really just trying to run back there, make sure you get the true play, and also you're trying to burn off as much of this play clock as possible. Try to give Doherty as little time. See if you can put a touchdown on the board. Make sure you get the PAT so that way it's a 2-score game. Just trying to basically take as much pressure off your defense as you possibly can, because there's been so many times against Doherty where just have the lead and things just break down.
And Reyes up the middle. No, can't punch it in.
Not quite, but hey, again, he's just trusting his blockers, trying to look for a gap, wait for wherever the hole opens, try to go right to it. Pickup of about 2, maybe 3.
Pick up a 2, 3rd and goal from the 3.
Core is coming in. So we're going to see 2 back. Split backs probably out of Leominster. I'm going to be shocked if you try and see Lopez keep it himself, just because there's going to be so much attention there on that middle, trying to stack the box if you're Doherty. Send so much pressure through the middle.
It will be a split back. Lopez looks like he wanted to pass it. He'll keep it himself, going out to the left. And he's able to punch it in. Touchdown, Leominster. Osiris Lopez keeps it himself.
And again, that's part of why you get quarterbacks like Osiris Lopez. They have that added element where, hey, we have 2 backs in the backfield, but we really have 3 guys that have the ability to rush and that we feel confident in. That might have been called a pass play, but I think we all knew at the end of the day, if we see the play action fake there, Lopez is 9 times out of 10 just going to keep it himself and trust his legs. Gets to the pylon first. See 6 on the board.
27-19, lead stands at 8. And they're going to go for 2 here. The pass is intercepted.
And again, so the one thing that most people don't know with Federation rules in high school, you can't return a PAT. Every other level you see that, but for some reason in high school, because of how the rules work, you can't return PATs if you're on defense. So that's just 2 points that could have been on the board for Doherty there. But again, instead of taking it to a 2-score lead, just mental error right there on the snap. Makes it tough for the holder, can't get it down, and that's why you now have a 1-score game here.
It makes the lead 8. Still 1 possession, but we saw Doherty go for 2. Sorry, they didn't go for 2 earlier in the game. We saw them miss a PAT. Second one Leominster has missed today.
But you're right. They did try going for 2 on their last touchdown. Just didn't get it to work because they tried to go with that Romeo with the QB power to that far side. But
in any case, 8 points is the margin. 4:18 to go in this one. Still a 1-possession game. And the kick is a line drive. Takes a low bounce, difficult to field for Dennis. Cuts to his right, and he's still got room to run, and he's forced out of bounds at his own 36.
And again, just making sure that you know, as a defender, sidelines your friend. Make sure that you use that to your advantage. And that's exactly what they do right there to make sure he doesn't take it to the crib. So now we're going to see, what does Doherty have in crunch time?
4 minutes to drive it from their own 36. Doherty currently sitting 1-0 after winning their season opener against Algonquin last week. Blue Devils 2-0. Wins against St. John's and Milford, both on the road.
I think the big thing too, just trying to make sure you get a conference or just staying in division, making sure you get a win here for either team.
Oh, and it's a fumble, fall back on it.
Just missed it. Ben Marchetti almost got there first, but Perkins, I don't know if he just didn't have the bread basket open enough.
It was just a bad handoff from the looks of it.
I think sometimes that's the other thing too. Sometimes these running backs, they get antsy, try to get with two hands rather than use your entire body to just close your arm on the ball. That's what we saw right there. Especially, I mean, it bounced directly forward.
They will gain 1 yard on it, 2nd and 9. Clock still ticking, 3.5.
And I think that's the thing too. You got to get a little bit more sense of urgency here if you're Doherty. I know typically you're good at getting these big plays, but.
And Romeo will throw it away.
I think Lemisser got away with one there. Ryan Dennis, he slipped past. He had a post. It was wide open for a sec. Just Romeo, I don't think he didn't have a platform to really throw that from, because at the end of the day, that's going to end up being like a 40-yard throw, and I don't know too many high school quarterbacks that can make that while jumping.
Would have been quite the feat if it had worked. It sets up 3rd and 9. And this set of downs must convert for the Highlanders.
And even if it doesn't, you still have 2 timeouts. You know that Lemisser is really going to try and run the ball. If not, it's going to be on Lopez to really keep it and make sure he pushes it down the field. But that's if we get a stop right here, and I don't want to speak too soon at the moment.
Romeo on his own, empty backfields. Being pressured, he'll keep this one himself. And he'll look to run it out of bounds, but couldn't get there. Some great tackling from the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Elijah Rivera, that's going to be the one thing that he does really well at. He knows how to tackle in these tight spaces. I know he's been having a tough night in terms of just going against Ryan Dennis, but I have a feeling most people that go against Doherty this year, they're going to have a tough time taking down Ryan Dennis. And just Elijah Rivera, again, great tackle on Romeo there.
Dennis, a junior wide receiver, the playmaker for this squad. 4th and 5. No option here, have to go for this one.
For sure.
Empty backfield again, pass, complete with the first down and then some across midfield.
Lefebvre, he finds the zone. I think he's cramping up a little bit right now, so he's going to need someone to come in for him. But again, we've seen it in the first half where Lefebvre, he's able to just find that soft spot of the zone, sits down perfectly. We see so many wide receivers at the next level. They're able to do that so well. Great job by Lefebvre, though.
Chris Lefferby with the big gain, puts him across midfield. Romeo drops back, a lot of pressure.
Deep drop. Going to get a holding right here, though.
2 flags on the play. And he'll take it back across the line. He'll gain a yard. But we'll see what the flags are first.
I have a feeling it's going to be a hold, and I think I saw a little bit of a jersey tug there in the backfield by a couple of linemen. But
it is a holding on the offense.
the other thing, too, it makes it so tough, especially because Romeo took such a deep drop there. So these edge rushers, they're able to see, all right, now I can, deepen where I'm heading for, the spot that I have to meet him at. So it makes it that much tougher because the lineman doesn't know that off the rip. So sometimes you get a guy gets a little bit too far outside, you try to yank him a little bit. But these officials, they're seeing it right now. So again, just trying to make sure you get effective plays if you're Doherty. If you're Leominster, just don't let anything get behind you. This is the end mission of this drive.
1st and 20 from their own 41. Flag will cost them 10. Quick pass, caught. And nearly back to midfield.
Yeah, nice little.
It's Jaden Oren.
Nice little alley screen right there. Trying to get him just some room to work with, get the offense moving. And Doherty just has to get set right now. They're taking too much time with their receivers.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 13. Wind really picking up now.
Oh, yeah.
Roll to his right, will Romeo pass is caught right on the sideline. That'll stop the clock at 1 minute and 7 seconds.
Yeah, I was not going to lie. I was a little shocked that they didn't call him down in the field just because he sat down with a little bit of green grass, but I guess they're going to give him that benefit of the doubt.
3rd and 7, just over 1 minute to go.
Great job by Jaden Orhan, just making sure he's aware of the situation. Don't let valuable time drip off the clock right now.
Orhan, the receiver. And he's lined up again here on the near side.
They're going to get a false start. Slot receiver jumped a little bit. Too much of a flinch, unfortunately. Looked like that was Jake Aresi. Can't do that.
Jumps just enough. That'll make it 3rd and 12.
If you're off the ball, it makes it that much easier for the official to see it too. If you take that one flinch off your back foot, official's going to see that every time. Push back 5 yards.
Third and 12, minute and 2 seconds. Now inside 1 minute drill territory.
I think the other thing too, if you're Leominster, you don't have, every spot of the field's open because they have 2 timeouts still.
Fakes the lateral. Passes up, passes. Caught on a dive. Not caught. That was Burchett, the intended receiver. Yeah. Looked like he might have had it from my angle.
Unfortunately, we got a lot of Doherty people on the sideline in between us and the ball there, but again, play broke down. Burchett saw a little bit of a wiggle room down the sideline. Sometimes you just got to hang on to that, but those ones are so tough. Diving catches into the turf. One of the toughest things.
Timeout called by Doherty.
Yeah, you got 4th down here. This is a play where you absolutely need it. But if you don't get it, Leominster can just kneel it out.
Join us next Friday at 7 o'clock. Blue Devils right back at home. And that one against Catholic Memorial, West Roxbury. Kickoff at 7 p.m. for that.
Leominster's got a nice little stretch. You started out the season 2 away games. You got 4 straight home games, so we're going to get to see these new lights frequently over the next month or so. So get ready for that, folks. We're going to see Leominster's hard money put to the test.
Convenient enough that season starts with 2 road games and suddenly there's a new set of lights.
You would think that. It's almost like they planned that out, probably.
4th and 12 with the game on the line. Josh Romeo steps up. Drops back, passes up, passes, nearly intercepted, in and out of a hand.
Best play of the day for Elijah Rivera right there. He saw that it was the out route, read it, saw that the quarterback was pulling the arm, knew Dennis was going for the sticks, and again, he might not have gotten the pick, but that's about as good of a play as you can get right there. Elijah Rivera, maybe a tough game for him, but ends up game on the line. Great play.
Interception or not, it won't matter. The result is the same. That is an incomplete pass on 4th down, 46 seconds to go.
And here we go, victory formation, the sweetest of them all if you're Leominster. And don't be shocked if we start to see the lights start to go crazy here.
And with this, the Blue Devils improved to 3-0 on the season.
And not quite yet. Think still got one more play. Just kidding. I'm a liar.
It was just in that gray area of the play clock, about 40
I think
seconds.
At that point, they're just going to give it to both teams. Everybody wants to get home.
3-0 for your Leominster Blue Devils. Doherty falls to 1-1. Back in action next Friday against Catholic Memorial. 7 o'clock once again for that. For Liam Curtin and our LTV production crew, my name is Cody Roy. Have a good night.
LTV's Action Sports is brought to you in part through the generous support of these Leominster sponsors. By MP Crowley Company Incorporated, www.mpcrowleyinc.com.